Welcome back to On the Road podcast, brought to you by the Road Freight SME Summit. It's episode 8. And today I've got fantastic guests that are entrepreneurs in the space. But before we get into today's conversation, I just want to remind you all to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you follow us on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and to our TikTok followers. Thank you for the comments that you're leaving. And we are going to make sure, even our YouTube followers, that we keep on providing you amazing content about the industry. Like I mentioned, I've got 2 guests that are entrepreneurs. I've got the most popular on TikTok, Khaya, with us, and also a dynamite. Yeah, you're a dynamite, Khumo.
Thanks, man.
In supply chain. And I'm again alone for the episode, but Mark Makubalo, the CEO of MLM Logistics, will be back to continue co-presenting. So guys, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for agreeing to come. What a way to start the day. You know, we had a typical problem, which is in transport, which is running late for delivery. But I guess that's your guys' lives, the problems that you face. In episode 7, starting the year, guys, we looked into the economy of the transport industry. And yeah, I'm sure you guys know that the stats, 85% of transport is still on road.
Yes.
And we're going to pick up from there because I really want us to look into issues that are relating to the growth of SMEs, which are issues around loads. Earlier on, we were talking about consortiums that happen on WhatsApps, you know, rates, negotiating rates. Still many transporters, Khaya, you would know.
Yeah.
You know, don't know how to negotiate it. They don't even know what to look for when they're buying trucks and subcontracting. But all the things that are seemingly, you know, keep on leading small and medium enterprises in the road of failure, not in the road of growth. But let's start with introductions. Khumo, please tell us about Blue Transfusion and your journey in transport.
Blue Transfusion is primarily a consulting company. So I do a lot of consulting for your supply chain management solutions. So I would come do a gap analysis, find out what the issue is. Doesn't matter which industry it is. Can be mining, can be manufacturing. You know, I think even in your own life, there's supply chain. So that's what I do. Then my second division is the logistics, which is warehousing and distribution. That is the department that actually grew over COVID, you know. And then we've got the training aspect, or the training department, where we are TITA accredited to offer training. So even when we go to our clients, we offer them the whole end-to-end solution, or pick and choose. There's no way you can't take one. You need to take one day. So basically that's Blue Transfusion. We've got 2 offices, one in Centurion and one in Rustenburg. The Rustenburg, where the footprint in Rustenburg is growing immensely, and it's quite exciting. And I've been in the industry for 19 years.
Wow.
Worked for 2 big blue chip companies, which is ABI, which is now Coca-Cola SA, and Balo World Logistics, which is now Nebula. So yeah, I grew along in many positions. My highest operational job was a depot manager. And then I grew more into the continuous improvement space in the Balo World industry, where I would find solutions for our then biggest client, PPC. So it's been quite a journey moving from operations to strategic. And it helps me a lot in our business, because I fit in everywhere. Whether I need to be operational, I can. Whether I need to be tactical, I can. But the main focus is on strategy, and finding the niche and being agile. And
you know, guys, Khumo on screen, she's not giving me them zzz. And you didn't mention that you have a fleet of over 15.
Yes,
she's done very, very well. Khaya, who doesn't know Khaya, ne? That wants to start a trucking business.
Am I that famous?
Yes, you are. And I think, you know, I want to give you your flowers while you're still alive. Thank you. thank you for starting what we have just jumped on now, which is creating content for people that want to get into this industry. Your clips go far back as 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And you got into this industry at 19. But tell us about your business and your journey thus far.
So I started when I was 19. Obviously, I was a sales guy. When I started, in fact, I still do sales even today. So when I started at 19, I used to work for a company, learned the ropes of selling trucks. While I was selling, the owner of the dealership that I worked for used to also have trucks that were on the road. So I got also involved there because he thought, hey, this boy is quick and fast. Let me put him there also to start managing the trucks. So I got the feel and the experience of managing trucks, drivers, learning about the fuel, how to buy the fuel, sourcing. Obviously, we never really did the sourcing of contracts because the guy was well known. So people would call in to say they are looking for transport for certain trucks like flat decks, your side tippers or tipper trucks or water tankers. So you would then decide if he's gonna take the route or you won't take it. So I had the feel of running a truck there. Obviously the guy was big. We would do around about 80 to 100 trucks that were on the road, depending on what was there. If there was nothing, you would bring all the trucks back into the dealership and we would start marketing them. So you worked only if the routes and the rates were right. So that's how I got the feel of obviously selling and running trucks.
And your business now?
So
how
now
you pivoted?
So now I still more or less do the same thing. I got a dealership. I started the dealership 2 years ago. It's called Chippy's Corner. The reason why it's called Chippy's Corner, because when I left the previous company that I was with, I said to myself, you know what, I've been doing this for long, and there's so many things that I see that I could do better for. It was more or less motivated by my people, like the guys who are coming in to buy trucks. There were certain standards I felt like we should treat the clients, show them this and show them that and try and do everything in-house. So I said to myself, look, let me start my own thing. So 2 years ago, I left where I was, started the dealership by my house. Actually, I looked by my house, there was a certain small corner there. I'm like, you know what, we don't have the resources like the plots and the land to start your thing. I'm like, I'm gonna put these things here and I'm gonna sell them. I called one of my friends and said, hey man, come through, check this spot, man. You know what, the dealership is on. So we started with 1-2 trucks. In 3 months we're doing 4 trucks. From there, obviously we had the resources. It's not like we didn't have the resources. We had the contacts, we had everything. So it was easy for us to get the dealership going. While on the side also we're in the fuel space. So what we used to do, we actually doing it, though I usually don't like talking about that side of business because you want to keep also some things private, you don't want to share everything that you do to everyone. You have to keep some things private. You let information that people need and you give them what they need, not what they don't need. So we also in the diesel space, we've been doing that for some time. So what we did, obviously, when we started the Chippy's Corner was to let's get some land. While we're doing that, we said we can't wait. We start from the house. So the Chippy's Corner grew. We did almost 8 to 9 months by the house. We couldn't keep up because
of the demands.
We will get clients queuing like it's a birthday party. Neighbors complaining, but it was fun. That's what I live for. If it's not fun, I'm not there.
I
if
like
it's
that.
Fun, I'm there. So when we did it, it was like something that was exciting. And if we show people pictures on how we started, and when they visit now our yard, like where we are stationed now, they can't even believe, like, hey, are you like 1 year old here? I'm like, yeah, because now we're doing around about 30 to 40 trucks on the floor.
Wow.
And when we're doing 30 to 40, it's not like they sit there for us to watch them. No, they are going in and out, in and out. So that's what we're basically doing. We're more or less pushing more on the dealership side. The fuel space, I partnered with my brother on that business. We're doing good. We're growing it. Obviously, that's where we want to see ourselves. One day, obviously, for me, I feel like, you know what, I won't sell trucks forever. There's certain things that I want to venture into, like manufacturing. I also want to go into agriculture because I saw there's an opportunity there. These things, all of them, let's say I started knowing most of these things through the trucking business, because at some point I realized, why should I look for lots when I can create them?
I like that.
So my message is simple and straightforward. Why look for lots when you can create them? There, the value chain is beautiful. I'm sure Khumo can testify. She worked with Ballowell. She knows that those guys, yes, they do look for lots, but they are the lots.
Yeah.
At one point, they are the lots. Because if they spot a company that has plenty lots, what they do, they just jump in there and buy in shares. Maybe I'm sharing a lot.
He's giving your strategy. No, you gave us very good context, and the context is important.
Yeah.
Context is very important when we start a conversation, because it's showing us what has informed your decisions. And the great thing about today's conversation is we have two guests, one that has trucks and offers also valued added services within the trucking industry, which is a view of just diversifying your income, because it can get really, really hard. And another one that is the service provider and also has trucks, you know, from selling them because you understand it, and also you have because you are in another service added value, you know, service in the industry from a fuel perspective. So your passion came through, and I'm glad. And Khumo's passion is about to get through as well, about being in this industry. So just coming off to, but before we get into the things that you mentioned, like the loads or the rates, you know, and why you wanted to start a dealership, and why you also are, you will say you providing supply chain within supply chain services. So moving right along, now I want us to get to the crux of a trucking business, right? And being a transport operator. And Khaya, you talked about you started as a broker. Yeah. People don't like brokers.
They don't. They don't.
They don't like brokers. And Khumo, why do people, you know, the broker story in the industry, it's full of corruption, it's full of high, you know, people are getting low margins. How does one navigate that? Because most brokers are the ones sitting with the loads. Am I correct? So how does one navigate until, and when I get back to Khaya, I'm going to ask him, how did he learn to create his own loads? How do you navigate that space? Why? I don't even know if brokers are regulated or not.
No, brokers are not regulated. I think even brokers can take up to 30% of your margin.
Shucks.
So imagine that big chunk. I mean, even for a company to be classified that it's doing well, it's 25% profits, right? So now imagine these guys are taking 30%, right? So I think over the years, SMEs have a lot of opportunities. A lot of opportunities where you can go directly to the shippers being the manufacturers, the product owners. You get what I'm saying? And like before, there were restraints. The product owners wouldn't want to deal with small guys. They want one big guy. They would manage all these small guys. So right now, with BEE, with BEE being a thing, for all these producers, all these mines and whatnot, it's opened a gate. So we should just go in. I think there was even one where the competition commission, as it was with Unilever, Sorry,
I wouldn't know.
sorry, with one of
Yes, the people.
let me not mention names.
Yeah.
With one of the FMCG,
FMCG
companies,
company,
you
yeah.
get what I'm saying? To say they opened up the market to say let's work with the smaller guys. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's just it. Even for the product owners, to work with a smaller guy, they're more agile. Unlike with a big company, for a rate to be approved or for the rate negotiations to happen, it could take months because the person who's supposed to approve it is not in the country or whatever. So I think currently now, not like when we started. When we started, it was hard. You had to work on network relations, going out there.
But you're painting a beautiful picture, Khumo, ne? And it's not beautiful because, and I'm going to push back because I really want us to have a real conversation.
Yeah.
There are people, like I'll just use our TikTok comments, for example. So people comment to say, yo, I started and I'm closing.
Yeah.
Where are loads? I'm in different WhatsApp groups like yourself where people are saying, where are loads?
Yeah.
We don't want to use brokers. And if you're going to cast it out and say, oh, now there's transformation, big guys are looking for small guys, that also has a portion of backlash because the big guys are now going to big platforms such as Line Booker or other big platforms.
They're becoming more innovative.
Yes. And the truth of the matter is a lot of young players are still not navigating the space because they've got small fleets, and to get to a big fleet is a problem.
Yeah.
So over and above saying they can go to the manufacturer or the person that's going to need the transport services. What more?
Look, Flo, that's what I'm saying. When I started, I relied a lot on my brand. People knowing
the work you have done.
The work.
So if somebody doesn't have a brand, guys, what must they do? KKF Logistics just came. What does she have to do? What does Flo have to do?
So I'll tell you now, and you probably will push back again.
Yes.
But
I'm speaking for the masses.
So before, when I left the corporate world, you won't believe it. I started with RFQs. So your government work, and I'm not taking tenders. I'm talking RFQs. So those RFQs
accumulated
were helping me even with the cash flow. And you mustn't go crazy because yes, the government has nice profit margins, but treat it as a business where now later when we start to unpack how do you look at how do you make your rate profitable, treat it as a business to say, okay, this cost me so much. This, every client, whether it's government or they want the benefit, they want to save a little bit. So don't go crazy and charge 300%. Do your proper breakdown, and that's how we almost win RFQs. I mean, I've taught my subordinates how to do it, and some of them are interns. I can tell you a month won't go by without them getting a purchase order. I kid you not. But don't be greedy in a sense, or don't want to get rich overnight like they've portrayed tenders and RFQs to be.
So in me understanding what you're saying yes, the broker route might not work for you, but if you're going to look into purchase orders, relook at to how you are pricing your purchase orders.
Yes.
For you to get the work that is needed. And we're going to come back to this. I'm going to push a lot in this conversation because let's not make it rosy.
Yeah.
Let's not make it look like FML Logistics can just wake up tomorrow and, it's a so, and then it's going to work. Truth of the matter is people are closing down their business. Truth of the matter is brokers are taking big margins. Truth of the matter is some rates you can't negotiate. You're too small for that. And I really want us to get into that. Khaya, you said you started with being a broker. You were bold. You started with the very same people that...
No, I was brokering a service. People wanted trucks. No one was playing on the internet. So I was playing on the internet, getting people to the dealer.
Let's talk.
I had to make some money there.
Yes.
It was an opportunity.
I hear you. And I guess a lot of them have started like that. But let's talk about the broker of loads.
Yeah.
Right? what has been your experience with how people are being messed up by brokers, and how do you navigate the space, and how do you navigate consortiums in WhatsApp groups that are brokers?
So you see, for me, I've dealt with men on the street, like the guys who are coming in. So before, while I was doing everything, selling the trucks, so I want to get to a position where people will understand where I'm coming from and where I'm taking them, in terms of the brokerage side of business, So while I was busy also like selling trucks, I realized one thing. Most people who came to the dealership didn't know anything. 90% of people who bought trucks, or even 99%.
So they came without not knowing anything about buying a truck, and also not knowing where they're going to go find business.
You would find someone saying, someone promised me work. So I need to get a truck. Remember, I'm a salesman. I'll sell you the truck. But at one point, it started hitting me like, man, these guys don't know anything, So I said to myself, you know what? There should be a way to teach these guys, because that's when now I started knowing about how they are getting scammed. Like it was the easiest. Right now, it's it's a lot better than back in the days on how people used to get scammed with the lots. Remember, back then, people didn't even get one run from working for 60 days, 90 days, 30 days. At the end of the month, you don't even get a penny for working, So in our days, you mentioned line broker, people are getting something, it's better. But at the same time, on the side, there's
platform still free advertising on this page.
There's still people who, so like I said, there's people that came to the yard, your grandfathers who just retired, your fathers who got laid off from work with their money coming to us, who will sell them the truck, definitely. But these same people are the ones making the industry to die, because everyone who has money thinks of buying a truck, and it's wrong. If we don't call out also the people that are buying the trucks to get into this business and tell them that whatever they are doing is wrong, it's better they spend that money with their kids. We should be frank with them. You can't just come in anything without any knowledge and expect to make money there. Those are the people making brokers rich, because brokers now know that even if you don't bring your truck, I'll get someone else who will bring their truck. So you can't even negotiate a lot there. No one cares how you feel. Brokers don't even care how you feel, because there's another guy coming.
And I guess that's the challenge, right, Khaya, is there's nothing unique about you as a small player. And as we later on, I want to talk about what could be your value proposition. And what you're speaking to is the truth that people need to understand as small players, that there's nothing unique about you. There is the next Florence. You've got 2 trucks, you've got 10 trucks. There's another Florence coming with 10 trucks, and I can move with this person. But continue.
So brokers use this to their advantage. Each and every time, if I put out there's work there and someone has money, what will they do? You give them an LOI, and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to be making money. They take that 300, 400, 500, come to us, buy a truck, put it to work. I even tell the guys that I work with, like, this one, give him 3 months, he's going to give me a call to say, Khaya, I'm selling this thing. There is those that I advise, if you come to me and say, Khaya, please help me. Then I'll tell you sometimes, take your money, go eat it with your kids.
Don't buy a truck.
Don't buy a truck. You will never make it. Because most people, once we address the issue of everyone wanting to get into the transport business or the trucking business, we'll never win with the brokers. We need to say to people, look into other businesses. Not everything is nice in the trucking business. You will hear the amounts, the 300s, the 350s. After you're done working, you might be left with 20 to 30,000. People don't know all that. They only
yeah.
think of the 350 that they get told by the brokers. So brokers are making money, obviously, and we shouldn't blame them. Where there is opportunity,
They can
you need to
exploit.
strike.
They're exploiting lack of knowledge.
So so people run to buy trucks without knowledge, experience. You know, you need. If you don't understand what you're doing, I prefer you don't even do it at all.
Yeah.
Keep that money, build a house, buy yourself a car, eat the money. It's better. You will get to enjoy that money. But put it in a truck. Chances are high that you won't make it. You will lose because you buy the truck for 500, and when you sell it, you're gonna sell it back to us at how much? We don't care. We shouldn't have feelings. You see, most the time we like the easy way in, easy way out. Me, I'm that straight talker. I'll tell you straight what you don't wanna hear.
Yeah.
Which is good.
If we learn to tell people the truth and we say to them, look, what you're doing is wrong. You shouldn't do it this way. Why not, take 1 year, going in there by the mines, understanding how this whole thing works, the money is yours. It's not gonna run away or something. Keep the money. Go to the mines, go and understand what the guys are doing there. Go to whatever type of loads you wanna do. Go in there. Be a nonsense there, like people should know that this guy is always here asking us questions, But believe me, if you invest more time in knowing the trade, you got a chance of making it. But invest your time on paying for a truck, because you want to wake up and say you own a truck, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
So, and the capital it's quite capital intensive, even to grow it.
Yeah.
And I want to get to, the rates. It's ever since starting the podcast and doing the summit, I get a lot of questions around, not even questions, but people asking, how do people calculate rates? But one thing struck me is one transporter, and she's been in transport for long, when she said to me, hey, Floman, I don't even know how to calculate them. I just take what they give me.
Yeah.
And I can see that I'm running at a loss.
Yeah.
Khumo, what should people know about calculating rates and what to negotiate for when they do?
Flo, I think the standard, the standard practice.
You would think people know the standard practice. Break it down.
Yeah.
It's the same as like cost per kilometer. Yes. You would think people know
what it means.
And, I'm getting messages, people saying, I've got subcontractors, they don't know their CPK. They don't know their CTO.
Yeah.
So break it down. What is the standard? So what should I look out for? How should I negotiate?
Yes. So what I want to say is that people would automatically go around. That's the wrong approach, right? Go around, how much is Khaya charging? How much is Khumo charging? Oh, okay, I'll place myself here. And then quote. And then you get the job, you find that, or try to underquote. You get the job and you find that you're running at a loss. So you need to know your line items. You need to know your fixed cost. Your fixed cost would be whether you're renting or you've bought or you paying installment, your insurance, your GIT, your workers. To Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi that I'm paying, the electricity that I'm paying, line by line, to stationery. And once you get to understand your cost, you would then take it back to daily rate. You get what I'm saying? Or you can work it back to monthly rate to say, okay, I need so much to cover my expenses, right? And then I can start adding my margin. And you can find that, you know what, if you include all your line items, you can actually even put a small margin and still be competitive. And not go around, go to Khaya, go to Khumo, and say, no, 25%. Then you're too high. Or, hey, let me just match them. But at that time, Khaya, Khaya has paid off his trucks.
That's why he can afford to
That's
do
why
that.
he can afford to do that.
And you still have 6 trucks that you
you're
are
financing.
Yeah, you're financing.
Or renting from. You get what I'm saying? And sorry, I don't want to divert. And that's what these big guys normally do. When they see there's a lot of small companies coming in, they undercut the market. They undercut the market. They can afford it.
Yeah.
They've paid off everything. They on plots which has been transferred for generations. They don't have to pay rent. They don't have to pay for water because it's borehole water. They don't have to pay for electricity. They've got all those advantages. So don't think what works for Khaya will work for Khumo.
Yeah.
You need to understand your expenses.
Yeah.
And what do you do when they say to you, this is our rate? I have another example. They said to her, this is our rate. You take it, you leave it. This is where we at. And she can't afford not to take it because even if she's not making money, at least her trucks are on the road.
Yeah.
If she doesn't know where to go to get, more business. What do you do? And her fleet is at 20.
Yeah.
What do you do in those cases where this is our rate? How do you negotiate?
Look, I'm actually from a recent situation like that.
Okay.
Where they said, okay, the minimum increase we'll give you is such a percentage. That's our rate. I tried to push back because I started to understand the value chain to say, oh, they've got so many links. Surely they can cut off there and just give me an extra rand or so. Look, they stopped the buck. Are you taking the rate or not? If you're not, we can go out and look for somebody who can.
Yeah.
It's a situation of
That's
take
the
it
reality,
or leave,
yeah.
take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Okay. I said I'm a solutions-driven person. I said I'm agile. What am I going to do? So the truck works Monday to Friday. So I need to look for something Saturday to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? You start thinking solutions. Or when there is no operations and the truck is parked off for 5 days, I need to find something, So focusing on one client is wrong. You need to have at least 5. And I know it's not always possible, but at least try to get 3, Same with us. It's I mean, with the droughts, we couldn't move 2 of our top 2. We couldn't do any movement because there were floods in Tabazimbi, or there was no movement. They were not packing because the material is wet or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Then I had to go to the infamous cash loads, And it's not, if cash loads were regulated or how can I put it? I don't want to say legitimate because the ones that we were doing were legitimate. But if they were
somehow regulated, let's use that word,
it would have been such a dream. Because after you upload, you get your money. And it also helps with your cash flow. So you now know that, okay, for diesel for the next week, I'm sorted. You get what I'm saying? So that's about it. That, if they tell you, take it or leave it, you really can't depend on one. I want to say something. I wonder if Flo is going to bleep me, but they've always said that transporters are like prostitutes. You go to where the money is. So you need to have a couple of time.
And the truth is you can go to where the money is, but if you do not know the industry, it doesn't matter whether the person is giving you money or not. Chances are you will still bleed. Even if you get something like a decent contract, because you don't understand the operational costs of this particular industry. If you get what I'm trying, you know that, yes, you can, and I see that a lot. 1 minute this person is there, then they move, they bit scattered. And even some of the things that they've been offered, they don't take the time to scrutinize them, only for them to get the bad deal. And that is where I want us to move to say, in what Khumo is saying, that you are the girl of the night. Right? That's the English word. You're the girl of the night, and because you're trying to find a client, Khaya, what are the signs of the bad deal? And Tying it to what you said earlier about broker yatla with, nice costs. What are the signs of a bad deal? And many people also fall for bad BE transaction deals.
So-
what are the signs?
So you see, like I said, most people don't know what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on my side. On my side, I've worked with more people who more or less don't have an idea of what they are doing.
But why do they get into it? But anyway,
it's
don't
because-
answer.
It's because the guys on the streets are saying tracking is money.
Oh, so
Yeah,
we are
it's
on
been
TikTok and then we're seeing somebody
sugar-coated,
posting
yeah.
their
Or
tracks.
you just check on your Google there, what business can make me money in 2025? Then tracking pops up.
Yeah.
Then you start researching and be like, okay, I want to be in there,
Yeah.
So obviously those people don't know how to spot a bad deal or a good deal, of which most the time, from my experience, most the time, all the deals are bad,
And the one that has 10 tracks that has been in it for 5 years or so, how do they spot a bad deal?
you see, on my side, like the ones that I know work and ones that don't work. So most people have shifted their strategy. They realize that, look, if I transport for someone, I'm actually not making money. So they shifted their strategy into renting out their trucks. You find someone is renting out their truck and saying, my side tipper and my horse is 120, 125. He knows, come here, come thunder, I'm getting my 125. That's a good deal. I love that deal. You only wait for your 125. At the end of the month, if you don't pay me, I'm out. I'm taking my truck, I'm parking it, I'll wait. Because there is always someone
Who come?
who comes.
Yeah.
This is an endless cycle,
Yeah.
It's always rotating.
It waits
like
for the
this.
next victim.
Yeah.
So you're saying to me, yes, the next victim. So you're saying these topics we're trying to address, loads, rate negotiations, subcontracting, it's not going to end. The problems are not going to end because there's so many small players, and whether it's the big guy that is renting their trucks, whether it's somebody that has commodity to move at a particular rate, they frankly don't care.
Yeah. And
Because there's the next Florence that's going to come.
To fall in the trap, yeah.
that's why when we started, I tried addressing the issue of telling people that if you got money, keep it
And
at
spend
your
it with
house.
No, Khaya, they want to have drugs.
Am I lying though?
No.
At one point also we need to protect the industry
Yes,
itself,
true.
Yeah.
We can't keep on letting everyone to just come
Buy.
in each and every time, buy a truck, buy this, buy that trailer,
Because there's
buy
now
this,
an
buy-
oversupply.
there's-
Yes,
and
it's saturated.
Yeah.
yeah. And no one cares, At the end of the day, that's why you see the bigger companies are actually closing.
Yeah.
No one talks of that.
And I
The
want us
big
to
transport companies are closing because also they are getting these loads that they say take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And if you leave it, they get a broker who's gonna go out there and make sure he gets those 100 trucks, and you get those 100 trucks and you will make money from it.
Yeah.
The upcoming guy still is not making money.
Yeah.
Because the deal is wrong from the
word go.
Yes.
from the top to the bottom. So 90% of the deals, or even 99.9% of the deals on the market right now are bad deals.
Yo, guys, kuningi.
Yeah, so
And
so this time I said to myself, you know what? When even before I left the house, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of sugarcoating.
telling you that
I've been waiting for a moment like
Serving it
this,
raw.
like
Yeah.
to serve it hard. When
hurts the
we're
most.
done,
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
be like, Khaya, we hate him,
Yeah.
or Khaya doesn't want us in this business, but we want people to come in, yes, but at some point we need to say no, this is not working.
it's
And let's move. So some are already in,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Some are already in. Yourselves, many others, they're already in. Khaya, you mentioned that even the big guys are closing down.
Yeah, true.
And the big ones are also renting out their trucks. Khumo, what's to happen for the one that has 30 trucks if the one with 80 trucks is closing? What's to happen?
Look, Flo, there's I actually want to throw a span in the works.
Yeah.
Rail is coming
I'm
back.
loving this conversation. This
Rail-
is where I love the conversation where it gets really real. Yeah.
Rail is coming back.
Yeah. We talked about it in the previous episode that what if Transnet works?
It's starting to work. So on
Or
one of-
when it fully now
look,
rolls
Flo,
out.
let me tell you, there's a property where I'm at most of the time, and I wouldn't see a rail cut pass. I can guarantee you, no lies, every day there's a train that passes there coming from Amandabuilt through the Rustenburg area.
Yeah.
And even the clients are saying, why must I pay you 15K when I can pay 9K?
We need to have Bernard back here from ABSA because he said it's going to work for the small players. I need a proper rebuttal about rail and small players. But yeah.
So historically, the bulk commodity was supposed to
Be on rail, yes.
You get what I'm
Heavy
saying?
commodity, yeah.
So the shorter distances will be good for the smaller guys.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? So that's the other issue that I'm saying, that all these long distance, because that's the ones that are popular. Out into Maputo, out into Durban, out into Walvis Bay, Namibia side, because we had our own issues there in Durban and Richards Bay. So that's the reality of it, to say that I don't know what the guy with the 30 trucks is going to do. He or she needs to find
He needs a strategy.
a strategy. Are you going to rent out your trucks? I know that now you can't. I wish we could. It could be like your Euro. I don't want to promote people. I'm not paid here. Your other rental companies where I can rent a vehicle for a day.
But they're also doing that. The red one, I won't mention name,
Yeah.
right? The red rental company.
But for the bigger, I know
No,
they're doing
even
it for the
commercial
rigid.
trucks.
Is it?
Yes. That's
How?
why I had them at the summit.
Okay.
They are now all moving, even the banks
Yeah.
are now moving into
To the FML
Yes, and renting out
vehicles.
vehicles. So even when you're a small guy, and we're saying these things not to scare people,
Yeah.
but to say,
It's
snap
reality.
out, you need a strategy because
Yes.
the world in the next 5 years is not going to be
The same.
the same.
Correct.
So they're also doing it. So I could be having 30 trucks.
Mm.
You're going to go compete with the red fleet management
Yeah.
company or the green one, whatever. And what are the chances that they have more resources than you?
They're high. I mean, out of a die, it's 5 out of 6 chances that they do. So, I don't know. I haven't actually come across a daily rental.
Yeah.
But if I'm the person with the 30, look, I'm just thumb sucking now.
Yeah.
I haven't done
Yeah.
I haven't done my time and motion study like Khaya was
Yeah.
advising, to say, before you get in a deal, sit there and watch how many trucks go out, how long it took one truck to get in there, because those LOIs will say you can do 10 loads.
Yeah,
Guess what?
true.
You end up doing one. You get what I'm saying? So that's I'm just thumb sucking here to say, okay, mining towns. If there's a breakdown, are my vehicles mine ready? Then find a niche.
Yeah.
Then you know that if Khumo wants to go test a client, I just rent a truck for 2.5 a day. Am I going to lose that? Sure. Unlike now going to get a truck for 80K a month and
You don't
only
even
using
make
it for 12 days.
Guys, do you still want to buy trucks? You still want to be in
Please,
this
no more
industry?
trucks. There's an oversupply.
There's an oversupply. Same question. How do you said they need a strategy.
Yeah.
What is the strategy? Because I'm not going to get out of business. I do have 35 trucks. It's decent. I'm stable. But clearly there's a strategy that's required.
So you say people don't wanna study, the game. Someone, you find that person with 30 trucks doesn't even know the strategy that Ballowed uses,
Or Unitrans,
Imperial,
or
I'm here, I'll mention names, because I've been studying them. Their
Yes.
information is out there for us to study.
Yes.
Mhm.
So with 30 trucks, why keep on buying more? if the thing is not working, you know, you're not making a return, you know, on your investment, you know, you just want to say, I got 30 trucks, you get in the money, you know, some people.
Mari, you bought them because they gave you a contract. But
You see, you see, people just want to say they got 30 trucks for the lifestyle, you know, in terms of, yes, you got the
Content.
30, you know, you got the 30 trucks, right? You got money coming in, you can afford to get loans from the bank, using whatever they see coming into your account, you know. So people keep up that act, but they are dry and out, you know. So why buy 30 trucks? And over the years, I'm sure if you have been checking the YouTube channel, because the TikTok is new, I just jumped on TikTok and said,
you've been doing content for past 10 years.
Because YouTube, at one point, I started talking about subcontracting, contracts, and I got bored because I knew it doesn't work, this thing. What works? So I started my research on checking, okay, how to make money. Like, not to think you're making money. Because like I said, I don't stay in one thing that doesn't give me money. So when I bought the trucks, also doing the transporting for someone, getting someone phoning me, where's my load, this and that, and I'm checking. I'm not even making money, you know. My
and I'm
fridge,
stressed here.
and my fridge was going empty, you know. I'm like, but it's because of transport, you know. I'm like, okay. And we're not working with brokers, you know, like
it was direct.
I was working direct with the guys, but still the money wasn't making sense, you know. You will make money, but it wasn't making sense. So I ended up thinking, you know what if I just switch this whole thing, you know, and say, and in fact, I said, let me go on to my research, you know, a reset button. Let me sell everything, you know. So I went out of transport at that time. I said, let me go back to my reset button because clearly this thing is not working. If I continue like this, I will start taking loans and this and that to keep the business going. So I had to press a reset button and say, look, let me check what the big boys are doing, you know. Clearly there is money, but how are they making the money?
Yeah.
So I realized at one point that you look at companies like Imperial. Imperial is not only doing those loads that you see on the road up and down. Some of them are focused on the warehousing side of business, where they just putting out plenty warehouses, you know, and letting clients come and put their stuff in there, and they are the ones doing the logistics involved there. You might find they are not making money with the trucks that are on the road, but they are making money with the warehouse, you know. So I looked at that and I'm like, you know what if us as black people, we can come up with a concept like this, you know. Let's say, don't go buy a truck, but build a warehouse, you know, or rent a warehouse and look for a client and start piling that stock in there and letting people come to you now to look for work, you know.
It's so true. And what you're saying, it's like, think about the value chain in trucking. And yes, the industry has money. And since still 85% of transportation is still happening on road, you can get a portion of that market share, not necessarily as a transporter, but having a distribution or warehouse where people can utilize that. So guys, if you've got a little bit of capital, that's what Khaya is saying.
I'm trying to address the guy with the
30 trucks. Yes.
Trying to say to him, why keep 30 when you can keep 5? And sell the other 25
and go build a warehouse.
Or sell the other 25, build a mine.
No, Khaya is thinking big, building a mine.
No, it's the honest truth. The guys with the proper paying loads are not in the trucking business. They are in the mining business.
They own the
They are in the manufacturing business.
They own the product. So they owning the product that they're transporting. So those people are the ones that are really making money.
So I'm trying to say to people, you need to start thinking out of the box, you know. If those 10 guys that the broker takes and sends them straight to work with the LOIs and everything. If they can come up together and partner, they can build something. So I'm talking about also people need to start partnering in their small amounts. You know, if you got that 500, if you got that 700, come together, look for other people who are
Collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Collaborate.
if you do that, you stand a chance of making something for your kids, because we're not saying people shouldn't get in the trucking business, but we are saying people should get in the trucking business strategically.
Yeah.
Khaya, thank you for that. It's quite interesting that, you know, as you were speaking, I'm thinking with all of this information, people still make the same mistake. Even as you were saying to people that they should think strategically about the growth of their business and how to grow the value chain. But truth of the matter is, Khumo, and to you, Khaya, is somebody out there right now is saying, I want more fleet. You know, I'm on 3.
Give me
I
the
want to get
address.
7. You know, what? And somebody as well is saying, I want to buy a truck. And both of you have had those experiences of, and in the cases of one might be having one type of truck and they want to get into a different type of transportation. What should people know about total cost of ownership? Because it is a capital intensive industry. Khaya, this one I'm going to start with you because you have a dealership.
Yeah.
What should people know?
So obviously, when you're buying a used truck, it's different from buying a new truck, right? Meaning a used truck is something that has been on the road, might have done side tippers, and, you know, working 24 hours is not a joke. So obviously, when you're buying a truck, let's say you got 400 or 500,000, you should be able to spend. You shouldn't spend the 500,000. You should spend round about 350. Meaning the 150 is your guide in terms of if you got early breakdowns, if you need. Let me put it this way: there's people that buy these trucks. Let's say you got 500,000, you pay 350. Before it even goes to work, they take it straight to their workshop and strip everything front to bottom and do a full round checkup on the truck, changing all sorts of things, and then they put it to work. Obviously, your licenses are not that expensive. You're looking at 15 grand. Let's say you're looking at 20 grand just to license your truck and all that. Then you should have round about 50,000 just to put back into the truck. Remember, you can spend that 350 or that 500 one time, but believe me, you will spend another 200 on top.
And you have not even received payment for this
let's hope
contract or load.
Let's hope you're getting paid while you're running your truck, you know, because if you know that truck will demand money from you. That's how it works. Even if someone comes and says, Khaya, will this truck run 6 months? I'm like, hey, man, are you not overstretching? This is a second-hand truck. I also don't know what's happening inside the engine. Inside the gearbox, you know. Yes, it's running. You can see also you're checking it. You can see it's pulling, it's driving. But I can't guarantee you. So instead of you spending 500, get a truck for 350 that you can invest some money into. So that when you put it to work, you guaranteed at least 3 months to 6 months, while recouping some money into your what? Into your fleet. Whatever you make in your first month, don't even touch it. It's not yours. It's the business money.
No, man, I want to buy that X5.
It will be too early. With the trucking business, you actually end up selling your X5, you know, to keep the business going, you know. So
you've moved from, you know, you've got Korea, you've got side tippers, you also have, what do we call them?
Hard body. The rigid tracks.
Yeah. So you've had to buy 3 different types of vehicles. What has been important for you to know about buying a different type of vehicle?
So luckily for me, Flo, I like to start on a rental business model. And then only as I see, so like Khaya was saying now, I don't rush and buy. I test the market with the rentals. If it doesn't work for me, thank you. Take
Bye-bye.
back the vehicle. You know, I can only tell you that in the courier business, we only started buying vehicles last year.
Wow.
So since 2019, we've been renting. So now we've managed to save a little bit to make sure that, okay, let's go in hard now and buy our own. Likewise, in the bigger vehicles, to say we start to rent, or we have a half rental, half owned model. And it's easier for us. We are flexible because sometimes the rentals also have their restrictions. Sometimes, you know, I can rather abuse the rental vehicle than my own vehicle type of thing. So it helps me play around. So I didn't just go out and buy. It was a process. I had to make sure.
So you didn't fall for the complex. Yeah? You don't own it. No. You don't own your own vehicle. You know, people have that complex and the pressure that people give to people to say, I say how, like, you don't own it. And people are so scared to say, yes, I'm renting it for now.
You listen to people,
at Khaya,
you close your business. You shouldn't even listen to
people.
You should listen to what they are saying.
Yeah.
And you take what you can use and leave what you can't use.
Yeah.
That's the strategy. You have to listen to what people are saying, because some of it can work to your own advantage. Someone saying it's not your truck, it shouldn't. It's our cars. Some of them are not even ours. At the end of the day, if
banks,
you look at it right, the bank owns most of our cars.
See people posting on social media, and there's like, you know, in the yard there's 50 side tippers, and somebody's feeling pressure.
You know, with the trucking business, if you focus on what we post, and then you follow that,
you are down.
Also, the broker will be waiting for you. The one that you actually hate will be waiting for you. So I believe there you have to strike straight, fully focused, know what you want and go for it. And you have to close the noise on the side. If you buy a truck because you saw someone posting and saying, I got 50 trucks, one of the guys, I'll be telling my guys, this one in 3 months is gonna call us. This one in 6 months. This one, he can make it till he can play around 2 years. He got deep pockets. That's how it works. So I think when you get into the business, you should be like fully focused. It should be something that you love and you wanna play in there. Not to say, I just wanna test in there. If you test transport, it will show you.
I'm gonna leave it there.
It will show you.
It will show you. I'm going to leave it there, Khaya and Khumo, because I want you guys to come back. And I would like us to talk about which is the strategy of knowing how to create your own loads. And we will schedule another recording, because the two of you have, I don't know how many decades the two of you of experience
together
in this industry, and the rawness and the realness of this conversation. I don't want us to get into how to create your own loads and then time is not on our side. But I'm going to leave it there with what you have said, because it's a great punch line to say, don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Focus on your focus. Learn as much as possible. And whether you've got deep pockets or not, this industry is not for sissies. You must know what you're doing. And with that, I think we can give it a wrap. Do you have any last words?
Khaya, I think you should start first.
I know energy be hot. Energy be hot. Let's hope next time we hear again.
Yeah, you will be.
Because the energy
it's
beautiful. It's beautiful. Because also remember, Khumo's side is a bit different from mine,
yours.
but his is where the money is. If with what I know, she knows what we are looking for. On that next conversation, she needs to tell us more
about how she's making money,
and she needs to get us inside of Ballowell. Because that's where the money is. With that information, you gold. Because the money, whatever we are trying to do as small players, is nothing compared to what they
They've
were
done.
doing,
Exposed,
you
yeah.
know, what she has been exposed
It's
to.
true,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I can tell you now, she knows what I'm trying to say when I say these guys can go and buy a company so that they can get the lots in there. So for now, we're gonna leave it. But
It's a
next time she
strategy to
needs to
acquire,
open up, you
to
know,
tell
to
us.
tell us more, you know,
Yeah.
the juicy meat inside those big companies, you know.
Khumo, you must tell us the strategy of the industry.
You heard when Khaya said sometimes you don't bear it all.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just
So-
get a little.
Hopefully, there's a couple of projects that I'm running, and you've actually mentioned a few.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in the next session, I would be done so that I can talk about them. I
Yeah.
can bear it all then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what an amazing conversation. Please follow Khaya on YouTube.
Yeah.
Your YouTube channel is so informative, and on TikTok as well. Khumo is very well known on LinkedIn. She's a dynamite in supply chain. And this is what Khaya is alluding to say your exposure, you know, is if you can teach us what you have been exposed to, we can all grow our businesses to a particular level. And with that, don't forget to subscribe, follow us on TikTok, on LinkedIn. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you, guys. It's a ciao. Thanks.
Ciao, ciao.